Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I back up being joined once again by Jimmy, Matt, and like always, Fluff.
Sir.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
What's up, beautiful people?
And like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them there for a reason. Today's matchup is me versus Matt. Matt's bringing back Gogeta, while I'm bringing back AOD. Let's take it away.
This may be the last Gogeta matchup you see for a while. There's a blue Soul Striker Gogeta package that did well recently that I'm going to start running, in addition to perhaps some decks in this new set. So this may be, for the foreseeable future, the last Gogeta video. I'm not going to retire him, but I'm going to be running some other stuff.
I mean, sometimes it's good to mix it up a little bit. So, Matt, being the Gogeta player, knowing that you have to play control, then go tall and win the game, what were you expecting against a deck that goes wide?
Primarily, I was, when I got my initial hand, I was thinking to myself, well, you're going to need a lot of, is that all you got? Any Kaioken Blue Gokus would be good. Early on in the game, Bancroft lets me take this back. I just completely forgotten. Well, actually, it's the next turn, so I'll hold off on that. But pretty much just anything that negs is really... Alright, so here we are. It is this turn. I had forgotten that Bobbity has barrier, so I tried to get him off immediately with Death Ball, and of course that doesn't do you any good, so he lets me take it back, graciously enough. But my entire strategy here is just neg, neg, neg. Typically, when I've beaten Bancroft's AOD before, I've turned 2, removed Bobbity with Kaioken Blue, Son Goku. And if I recall, I don't think I see him this game.
I don't think you did. I know for me, going against Red, cards that neg are typically a problem. Especially like you mentioned, is that all you got? Being able to hit 2 battle cards, and most times I'm early game, I'm swinging like with the Garlic Juniors and stuff like that. So Garlic, Android 13, and Slug are kind of your main targets for that card, because Turles has barriers, you can't target it. But anything else, you're just weakening it where it's not even worth swinging at, and if I were, there's a good chance you could just punish me for it.
I will say that when you won the dice roll, I thought I was in serious trouble. Giving AOD AOD is something that, in a best of one format, if it goes first, it's really, really hard to beat.
Yeah, getting that Bobby set turn 1 before my opponent gets a chance to do anything is always an amazing play.
So, Matt, I know you run quite a few different floodgates in the list. We already mentioned Is That All You Got, which is kind of a floodgate in this matchup, if you play it correctly. But I know you also run Violent Rays, Topo. Topo is probably your best option here, where a lot of Bancroft's cards are under 20k.
Yes, I believe there is a Topo play this game, if I recall correctly. Violent Rays I've cut significantly. About 2-3 months ago, I was running it as a 4 of, and we've just gotten so far away, especially with the rise of Toa with the new anniversary box package from Big Beaters, that I think I've cut it to 1 in this current deck, and I've replaced it significantly with... Took Topo from 2 to 3, and took Is That All You Got from 1 to 3. Still not running After Image. It's just... it's a sparkling, which is nice, but I think there's better cards.
And do you also run, as we call it, Vegeta and Friends, the King Vegeta posing a presence?
I run it as a 1 of. I should probably try to take it up to 2. It's obscene, and it gets played later this game.
So
just be huge against AOD.
Yeah. Want to go over this. I don't normally do this for AOD, but I do know that especially against Matt, I need to get him to awaken sooner than later. So I'm okay tapping out, just applying the pressure where I need to, and getting down to 4 life on turn 1, and hopefully my next turn go into him again.
Yeah, typically what I like to do with this deck is bring out Gogeta 6, turn 3, play strats of Universe 7 to give him barrier. then awaken, restand 2 energy. So I have 2 energy to survive the crackback, whether that be their turn 3 or their turn 4. And you figure, between Topo, is that all you got? Violent Rays, you should be fine. So I am very nervous right now. I'm down to 4 life. I'm nowhere close. I mean, I'm not even sure I'm going to get a turn 3 at this point. So he has very much put me in jeopardy here.
And the reason why I was pushing so hard is because I could not remember the 5-drop Gogeta if it negged 15 or negged 20. So I knew I had to get all this attacks in before you even think about playing that card to potentially wipe my entire board, for the exception of obviously the 2 cards that have barrier. And here I think you just swung and that was it. And
yeah, there's a Topo in hand, and And do you have anything that can?
I do, and it's in my energy. Permanent? It's in my energy right now. And
so do you want to tell the viewers what that is?
Android 13 is a counterplay that hits targets 3 or less. When your opponent plays Topo during your turn, it's considered a 2-cost card. So Android 13 is a great target for that, because not only is your opponent having to discard a card per the counter attack, but then Android 13 makes your opponent discard a second card. The problem is that the reason what I'm doing here is that I played the strikes back to dig. I played Broly and immediately just draw all 3. Like I've been doing kind of one at a time just to see what it is. I'm just looking for another Android 13 before I even begin swinging at you, because I knew leaving 2 open energy, I'm like, he has a Topo, and I need to see if I can find this card. Unfortunately, I did not see a second Android 13 by this point, which really hurts.
So, Jimmy, is the wording on Topo reduce the cost in hand or reduce the cost?
It's reduce the cost in hand, but the card is technically in hand until it enters the battle area.
So Android 13 would be a window 1?
Yes.
Okay, well that would explain it.
And I want to point out that wasn't a misplay. I didn't mean to show Matt the Unison. That was a complete accident. So I was just frazzled not seeing Android 13. I was just like, I'm grabbing this card. And I'm like, crap, you're not supposed to see that. So
here we have Topo, which if he has the 13, the game probably ends that turn.
Yeah,
I mean, I have some combo fodder, but for all intents and purposes, I'd survive at 1 life, and it would have been over.
I got it off the leader swing, unfortunately. So I want to point out one more thing. I don't even know. I would definitely have forced you to awaken. I would say it, but I had a Centipede in my hand as well, if I'm correct. I would have just...
Looks like I've got, is that all you got, too?
Yeah. I would have flooded the board with 2 more battle cards and a Unison potentially against you.
Ugh, that's gross. It's so gross.
But yeah, getting that Topo really hurt. I mean, I do draw a lot early on, but I'm debating about if it's worth, discarding 2 cards to get the extra damage to you, or just waiting for you to, your next turn, start your chain, awaken, and just hope that I could get the crack back on you.
So it looks like here you're just debating what to do.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if it's worth discarding 2 cards to get at least 1 more swing on you or not, to see if I could at least maybe get you to awaken, or potentially just triggering something to occur. And I do, if I'm correct, discard 2 cards. I think one being a Unison and something else. And with the Turtleless, I could go into a search, obviously, for another card out of my hand. So it's kind of just losing 1 card for the attack in this case. And Broly's not a bad grab.
So, Bancroft, if you were to go on Tier List Maker and put all of the AOD cards in a tier, where would you place that Broly? Because I'm curious of where it compares to me.
So the Broly it's great for on play for 2 reasons, and it's great for as a side option for another reason. It adds if I'm correct, any card with H instructions in its card name back to your hand for 1 energy as an activate main, discard, add 1 card back to hand. So it's a good recovery card for any card you need to recover. But on play, it pops a 5 or less. Obviously, doesn't get past barrier. and you go look up top 3, add a card to your hand, so like you don't have to reveal that card. It's up there for sure, in my opinion, compared to all the other ones. I'm gonna say it's probably my second or third favorite AOD card, possibly.
So I will say I'm glad that Bancroft swung at me, because that puts me in imposing presence free play range.
Yeah.
And losing the topo, it's he's combo fodder at this point, so it's no great loss there.
Where would you rank the Broly?
I would say it's probably the best card in the deck, just solely off of its auto is not locked to an AOD leader.
Yeah.
That it can be ran in the other variants of whether it's Soul Striker, Blast from the Past, if you play the yellow Gotenks leader. Like, it's real solid. The Android 13 would be up there for me because in some cases it might as well be a counter.
For sure.
But it's locked to the AOD leader, which, while it's still really powerful, some other decks could abuse this engine far better.
Which I'm glad it is locked to the leader.
Oh, certainly.
Because when I was playing the AOD Soul Striker variant, like, you know how many times I wish I could play that card, but I couldn't.
Yeah, the card is disgusting.
So here we've got Bancroft's board being negged 15, not ignoring barrier.
Which still, just hitting at least one card off of AOD is a win sometimes. That's just one extra thing you don't have to worry about.
Now, this is a fascinating turn of events here. I don't have the 6-drop. I am digging for the 6-drop. And I have strats in hand, but I have not played it yet because I'm digging for the 6-drop. So the fact that when Bancroft does what he's about to do, I'm like, this is game over. I'm finished. So the fact that I was able to recover from this, I'm rather proud of. Again, I'm double super comboing. I'm just digging desperately for the 6-drop.
And that let me know immediately. I'm like, oh, you don't have it, do you?
But, well, so heroines. So there goes the 5. Don't need to worry about getting the 6 anymore. So at this point, I'm like, well, there's not a lot I can do. I think I've got a Violent Raise, which will buy me sometime next turn. But I'm thinking, on the one hand, I was mad at myself that I didn't throw the strats, but on the other, it's like, well, what's the point? You don't have the 6. So here I'm just trying to put pressure on him, deal some sort of damage. So here's the Bardock.
And if I'm correct, Bardock gets hit with a beautiful petrification.
Yes. Why didn't you petrify the 5-drop? Because you knew I didn't have the 6?
I knew when you swung with the Gogeta, I was just going to steal it and disrupt your chain before you had a chance to even put the 6 on top of it.
Oh, so you're going to heroines regardless. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, just heroines regardless. Duh.
I mean, would I have rather had the 6-drop instead? Sure. But the fact that you
did... you can neg me 20, yeah.
But the fact that you didn't play strats and you were digging, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm for sure taking this card now.
I think out of everybody at the shop, Matt has been hit with more Heroine's lineage than any other person.
I would agree to that, yeah.
Almost every single time Matt comes up to me and he's like, hey, report my game loss. He's like, Heroines, and I'm like, I got you, bro. Like,
I think this is the only game I've ever won when I've been heroines. So here's Violent Raise.
Spoilers, man.
Sorry about that.
Who cares?
Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. If you happen to be falling off at this point, so here, thinking back on it, I probably should have swung the Broly first. But truth be told, I just wasn't thinking of Violent Raid at the time. I was thinking more, in case he has another topo me, I could just answer 13 at him again. And you Violent Raid, I'm like, oh, well, there goes 3 attacks that I can't do anything about. Great.
And I am now starting to sweat a little bit because I'm second guessing the timing of the Violent Raise. There is an 8-drop Gogeta that can play for 4 if your life is at 2 or less, which I have in my hand. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should have let him take me down to 2 before playing Violent Rays, because he may just stop. So now he plays the Boo Unison, and I'm just praying, yes, swing at me with Double Strike, give me those 2 cards, please. So let's see if he does it.
Well, I'm assuming he does, since you said you won the game.
I will say, so what I'm doing here, I made 2 mistakes this turn. And it wasn't really a mistake, it was just that I wasn't expecting a certain card to be played against me. But I wanted the extra combo power here. And I figured I would get some minor attacks in since they're 15Ks. Got hit with the "Is That All You Got?", which really hurt. And I lost the super combo, I lost that. The Garlic Jr. I go to attack with the leader next. And really it's just me just trying to get him down to 2 life so I can swing with the Unison afterwards. The card I forgot about is Imposing Presence. I'm like, okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to let that bounce. I'm not going to combo it. And I debated for like a good, solid, maybe minute. And we are fast forwarding the videos. But I was like, should I attack, get him down to 1 life? Give him more resource. I think you had like 6 cards in your hand at the time. And I'm like, just thinking, is it worth swinging here? Should I just hold off a turn? And I'm like, yeah, I won't swing. I'll hold off a turn. And for some reason, I don't know what happened. I go, 20k Double Strike. And I'm like, mentally, why did I swing? And I'm like, well, I've already called it, so I might as well stick to it. And
well, the other thing is...
Also, I think we may have missed a discard for Imposing Presence free play.
I imposed... Did I? Oh, shit, you're right. I discarded the...
Is that all you got?
Is that all you got? For the first, is that all you got? Ah, damn it. I'm sorry about that, Bancroft.
I don't know if that changed anything.
I don't think so, because no, the math wouldn't have changed.
Yeah. So the 2 mistakes leading in my previous turn, because I was thinking the idea is that I could finish you this turn. But like I said, you had those 2 negates which helped you out a lot in surviving. And the 2 misplays was 1, getting rid of the Garlic Jr. as an energy, or even playing it. I should have just hung on to those. I didn't. So I'm down to 1 energy with no form of negates. You're swinging with lead here, and I'm forced to have to actually block because I have no actual negates in my hand currently.
And I'm thrilled when he activates that blocker, because I was very much worried about getting around that. So here I play this came as a promo with the Heroes video game. You can play him for 4 when your life is at 2 or less. He's a triple striker, dual attack. And now I play strats to get around is it +0 or +1 on the Boo Unison?
It's -1, so it would have killed my Unison, but I would have balanced it.
We would have been fine with.
Yep. But here you give it barrier, so I can't target it now, unfortunately. And now I'm like, okay, cool. He's just going to do what everyone does. Just swing. Let me waste all my resources. No,
I dump everything.
You go and just dump everything.
With the current meta, it is so hard to get a swing through. If he's already played his SCR and my guy has barrier, and I don't have to worry about Vegeta's final flash, I'm dumping the hand. I am absolutely dumping the hand on the first swing.
So you managed to, if I'm correct, come up to 75.
I got to 75 and you got to 65.
Yeah, and I was only able to come up to 65, unfortunately.
And now explain to the viewer what would have happened if I had not comboed my hand on that swing.
I think... Let me see if I show my hand real quick. I think I do actually have a negate that I forgot about. And I think I would have comboed out your first attack and then negated your second attack. No, I would have comboed up. You had a card
you could play in rest mode.
Yes.
That would have, yeah.
The Bojack. And which would have forced you to have to swing your second attack to the Bojack instead. And then,
which again is my philosophy behind don't get cute on the first swing. If they let it through, and you don't have to worry about Heroine's lineage or Vegeta's final flash, don't get cute. Dump everything and go for the win.
For sure, yeah. And like I said, because you did that, that's what truly guaranteed you to win. And I was like, he's comboing out. Well, let's see what happens. And no, kudos, Matt, you got that one. So
yeah, that was about as lucky as everything had to break right for me that game. Which is funny. After you got the 5-drop, you had to hit me down to 2. You had to let the swing through. I had to have the strats in hand to get around the boo unison. There was a tremendous amount of luck for me there.
So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's matchup. Keep in mind there's buttons down below and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
Another perfect example of Matt going for the throat with a tiny little miss. But great game, guys. As always, let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, check out one of these videos. Hopefully it's something you hadn't seen, and enjoy it. As always, read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and Fluff out.